This block is the structure block, and it is probably my favorite block in the entire game. It essentially functions as a copy and paste. For example, if you wanted to copy this house that I have here, you would place down the structure block, you would set the relative position to 0, and then click on the bottom left to set it into save. Then set the structure size to whatever the structure size is. I'm going to start with 12, and it looks like it does not completely cover the house. So I'm going to go back to the block, make it 15 on each side. Now the house is completely within bounds except for the roof, which looks like it needs to go up about 2 blocks, which I will add back at the structure block. Then, afterwards, now that I double check that the entire house is contained within the bounds, go back to the block, enter a name, and then click save on the bottom right. I am going to use the word house for this. Once you're done, click save just to double check, then destroy the block and move it to wherever you would like. Place the block down, then right click on it, set the relative position to 0, and enter the name of the build you just saved. Then check the bounding box to make sure that whatever we're loading in doesn't hit any other builds, because it deletes all the blocks within the bound. Then we click load on the bottom right, and our building is now back.
This is Minecraft Bedrock Edition, which is honestly, for the first time I'm going to say this, the actually one I prefer using the structure block on. So the structure block in Java Edition acts functionally the same as the one within Java Edition, except for the key fact that you don't have to go out of the block. Once you place it down, you can do everything that's within the block. So you start over here, and the reason why on the Java side I set the relative position to 0 was because it was by default 1, which is 1 block above the structure block, and I wanted the blocks that the structure block is in, so I just set it to 0. On Bedrock, it's the opposite, where it's actually 1 block lower, so it's at -1 instead of just +1. But I'm just going to set it to 0 for now. And then what you start with is the middle value is almost always your Y value, just like your coordinates. I believe the maximum that Bedrock can go is 48 blocks, because that's the same as what it is in Java. But we can see that that is way higher than we need it to go. So I'm going to do 24, and that looks a lot better. And then we're going to start with 15 on each side, just to see if that can get the whole structure in. And it looks like we got quite a bit of it in, with the difference of about 1 to 2 blocks. So we could make it 13, or we could make it 14. But then we have the entire structure within our bounds, and that makes it a lot more convenient because it is obviously different as it is in Java. So we can just do a scope around the building if we want to. And then we can go back to the block, and it's already on the save mode that we need it to be on in order to save the structure. And so what we do is we just enter a structure name, and I'm going to use the same name I used on the other one because the structures you save on Bedrock do not conflict with the ones on Java. So I can also select all these other things, like remove the blocks within the bounds, or include the entities, so like this pillager that's right here and that just left, and there may be another pillager inside, but I'm not sure. And then simply you just click show bounding box, which I prefer because that gives you the whole bounds of everything, and then you click save, and now it's saved. And so then you just move to a new spot, place it down, place load, and then house. Again, I prefer setting my deficit to 0, that way it doesn't affect anything, and then we press load. And then now we have a copy of that building over there, just like we did on Java Edition. Usually I don't do this, but since I'm considering taking content creation more seriously, I'm just here to ask if you would like to like or subscribe to this video and my channel. I plan on releasing more stuff like this and more Minecraft and other game kind of content. So, you know, it's completely free and it's also completely optional, so no pressure. But if you choose to, then it helps me out a lot, and thank you very much. And if you hated this video, then just let me know down in the comments and I can be sure to try other stuff out.